their computers, and I had to walk to the back of the room, and I had to go and find Skype dates. And oh, hi, I'd really like to join, and this is really great. And the one thing that made me join was when I walked down the corridor and I looked at the screens of everyone who had their laptops open, and it was all stuff I recognised. And I'm from Mossvale, I'm from a little town called Mossvale. I think there's like 3 web developers probably in Mossvale. And it was like I came home. So it's an incredible community. People understand what it is that you want to go through when you're trying to build a company or you're doing a startup. And to be in an environment where people understand the tools and the software and the problems that you're having is invaluable. So just like George, I make a 2-hour trek to get here. I just jump on the train and work on the train, but I take 2 hours to get here, and I just come up once every so often. It's, it's the best thing ever. And so this is why I do these talks occasionally, because I sort of think I better give something back occasionally. I'm just going to talk about outsourcing, and really what it is it's just finding freelancers and contractors to help you grow your business. And I know that it's a very popular topic. I'm going to talk, a lot of people turn up and they really enjoy it. It's not a silver bullet. It takes a lot of work. So I've got a very large account on Odesk, so I've spent an enormous amount of money. I've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars over the years on Odesk contractors, and I sort of say that's a lot of mistakes. And so that's what you learn. You've got to get into it, you've got to try it. Most people I talk to, they fail at it. They say, oh, it's too expensive, or that project went off the rails, or I didn't make money, or whatever. Just got to keep trying, keep trying. Okay, so this is Naomi. She's one of my favourite people at the moment. She's been with us for about a year. And the middle column, you won't be able to see it from the back of the room, but the sales in one of our, I do e-commerce, a lot of e-commerce stuff, so we've got several stores. This is one of the stats from one of our stores, a big commerce store. Sales last year, from January to 12th of October, were 52,000, and this year, for that same period, 155. And Naomi runs on processes, so when you're just listening to tools, what I do is I write a process and I say, this is how I want that store maintained, these are all the 10 things you've got to do each month. And so she costs around $200 a month, and she maintains that store, and I don't touch it. So it's taken me a while. So again, that's the shiny, that's like the shiny promise, but it's taken a while to get to that point. So it's a lot of processes, writing processes, finding that person. Got to kiss a lot of frogs on Odesk to find that person. This is Zoran. I put his name up because he's looking for work, and I don't have enough for him. He was placed 18th in the world on Google's marketing competition. He's the first in his country, so he was placed first in his country for that competition. He's Eastern European, so they're very competitive over there with the AdWords, the PPC, the SEO type stuff. He took, this is a client's account, so I also run a web agency. He took a client's account from a cost per lead of $119 to $6.85 over the course of 2 months. So Naomi makes money and Zoran saves money. And it's critical that you understand that when you freelance and you use freelancers or you're outsourcing, you've got to either make money or save money. It's not for like getting a VA to do everything for you, to pick up your laundry and do a little bit of content writing for you and then do your invoices. I'm a little bit different to Jules. I choose people who are very specific, and this is just what works for me. So you've got to just find out what works for you. I choose people very specifically for a very specific talent, a very narrow talent. I train them in a handful of processes, and that means that if they fail, I can replace them. So when you have one person who does a lot for your business, I find you're quite vulnerable, because these people come and go all the time. That's the nature of the type of work. So it's risky because I rely on them to either make money or save money for me, but they come and go. But by having a process, the next person who comes in, so Zoran will leave me one day, Naomi will leave me one day. I think I've done about 170 hires over the last 9 years. So people come and go, and as long as you don't think that that person's going to stay forever. The top list is all the things that are really easy to do in my experience on the freelancing platforms. The middle part is quite difficult, and the bottom bit is virtually impossible. So software development is quite easy if you do it in stages. So software development, you can do it by project or you can do it by hour, and I'll tell you kind of how I manage these things. Virtual assistants, dead easy, dime a dozen. Data entry, data collection, very, very easy. I'm doing a data collection project with a friend at the moment. We've got 10 people working at $1 an hour. We're just collecting huge amounts of data all the time. Content writing, again, is easy. Customer service with the BPO industry is so huge in the Philippines. It's very easy to find. Someone will work for $2 an hour, or the wage for a BPO person is $14 a day. So when they're Naomi came from a job, she was $14 a day, working in a call centre. She processing checks. She was in a BPO and her daily rate was 14, and so I was obviously able to make my offer more attractive than that. Translation, transcription are also quite good, but you need to find reliable people for those. So transcription, they tend to negotiate a lot with you to try and take a little bit longer, especially at the time hourly rate. Content scheduling, PPC, so pay-per-click. That middle stuff, the graphic design, it's really difficult. I've never really used a graphic designer. I have, but they tend to either be Australian or Eastern Europeans. So the Eastern Europeans have a very similar design aesthetic to us. The Filipinos have caught up, the Brazilians, the South Americans got a sort of a similar design aesthetic to us. But when you're producing logos and collateral for your business, and if you're selling into an Australian market or a US market, you've got to pick the same colour combinations that we see in the marketing all the time, so that your customers are comfortable with that design aesthetic. So in my experience, the Eastern Europeans are a good match for us, and also the Australians. So I tend to go and find graphic designers in Australia and see what's looking. Community outreach is something that I think a lot of people would like to do. Community outreach is when you've got a product and you basically want to take that product and tell 1,000 bloggers about it. It's things that are done on scale. So I'm not talking about just kind of going and getting one interview with one journalist. Community outreach is basically spamming the internet. It's just scale, but it's just a nice term for it now because people don't like calling it link building. So that can be done, but it's usually broken down into processes. So if there's 10 processes for community outreach, about 4 or 5 of them can be outsourced. Very basic project management can be done, but I haven't been very successful with that because people that you generally hire don't think. They're not sort of strategists, they're not entrepreneurial, they don't have the same sort of culture as us in terms of, they might have come from a job where they were literally, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. each night. They just have this sort of churn mentality. So getting them to think through complex problems is sometimes challenging. And content strategy is, what am I going to say to that journalist? How I'm going to pitch the product? I think that's just a lot of people make. They think that they can get people to think for them. SEO is one of the biggest things on outsourcing. There are more SEOs who will offer you services for $200 a month, and it's something you must never ever do because of the link building tactics they do. If an SEO is any good, you probably can't afford them. So it's only the very big companies with, it's $10,000, $20,000 a month for an SEO project. It's not $200 a month. For $200 a month, you get bad backlinks, and I see this a lot. So again, always personal experience, but don't ever go with SEO, just avoid them like the plague. Usability, conversion testing, business plans, complex project management, and yourself. Anything that requires in-depth thinking about your business or how your marketing is going to be, I generally find I can't outsource it. I use Odesk. I used to like Odesk a lot, and you find out why I don't like Odesk much anymore, but I've sort of got to better start with a few good things about Odesk. I've tried all the platforms, and I even have even gone direct. 15 years ago when I first started doing this, we would use IRC channels. We'd use Merck and IRC channels, and we'd chat to the Russians, and then we'd get them to work on our stuff. And at the time, it was $250 a month, and we were kind of chatting with this guy who had no idea who he was. And we'd have to make international payments, and our bank accounts would always get put on hold, and then we figured out how to transfer money through credit cards and sort of things like that. But Odesk is brilliant for processing money. So the two things that I love about Odesk is the work diary and the easy payment system. So what you're looking at is a snapshot from one of my staff, and you can see this is the exact work he did. You can't see that, but that's code. That's a screen of code. So I can actually see which templates he's been working on at that point in time. Then I can see he's gone and checked his work, and then I can see he's opened it up here to do some bug checks. And this little green graph here shows his keystroke and his mouse movement activity. So if he's just flicking between screens, flick between another screen, this is taking screenshots at 11:01, 11:17, 11:27, 11:36. So it takes screenshots at random times, and then it shows me his activity. So I can see if he's actually working. There are software platforms. There are actually there are the software you can buy now for like $30 a month that will do this for you, but it's all integrated within Odesk, and it makes payment very easy. So the other thing that I do, and Jules might have spoken about this, but Ian might have spoken about this, but the other thing about Odesk is their reporting system's really bad. It's virtually useless for someone like me. So what we do is we use activity codes and then memos, but we have to force our Odeskers to use those. If it's kind of like a copy-paste thing, and they always forget, and they're too busy, and they don't know, and they just ignore it. And that means that all our accounting is very messy. So that's another thing is there are a lot of processes for using Odesk, but I love the work diary because I can basically look at what they're doing. And I love the fact that every Friday, money is just taken off the credit card and everyone's paid on time. The other thing I really like about Odesk is you can learn from other people. And this, I just found this last night as I was hunting through, but there's a huge amount you can learn from Odesk. This is a guy who spent $100,000, $200,000 on Odesk. You can see people's accounts. This is one of the things that I do. Is I go and look for other very big accounts on Odesk, and I go and poach their staff. So you can see this. Well, I'll tell you why in a minute, because Odesk, the search component of Odesk is essentially broken, so it's very hard to use. So you've actually got to go and poach other people's staff. But anyway, so this is his account. He spent over 50 grand, and you can work it out from there. That's a couple of $100,000. So when someone spent a couple of $100,000 on Odesk, they've learned a lot of lessons. And so this guy here is spinning 1,000 videos. So he's creating 1,000 videos, and you can see all the people that he's hiring. I'm sorry that it's a bit small for you guys, but you can see here that it's just YouTube work. And what he's doing is you can see there's all these hidden fields in Odesk which you've got to kind of open up. But what you'll see, and I'll show you another example of this in a second, see how it's all SEMrush and video work. You can see that what he's basically doing is spamming YouTube for his clients. So he's creating 1,000 videos. And so for him to have a $200,000 account, it means that, say, he's making 20–30% something on top of that, or even 50% on top of that. You can see that that strategy is probably working for him. And what a lot of people will do, these big account holders will do, is they'll usually write, sometimes you can get a lot of detailed strategy in here, so you can actually get a job description. So sometimes when people, and I do these talks, people say, oh, you know, what do I write in there? Well, go and copy everyone else. That's one thing that you can learn. Okay. Odesk is getting worse in the last couple of years. The search results are really inaccurate. So I'm not sure if you guys have seen Odesk before, but this is a search result, let's say, for writing and translation. And what will happen is the more that you use these filters, so I'll show you just the kind of stuff that I do. I'll just really quickly go through. If I was searching for a writer in Odesk, and I don't anymore, but I'll show you where you can get writers from. If I was, I would choose the category, of course. Always choose 4.5 to 5 stars. I found that on Odesk it's a lot of retribution. There's like a 5-star system and that's it. If you don't give 5 stars, what happens is the freelancers will generally harass me to change that. So I often have to change if I'm really aggravated by someone once and I gave him like 3 stars. And they forced me to change it because otherwise they were going to come back at me. And so what I found is everything's just 5 stars. You just give 5 stars. So always pick 4 to 5 stars, because if it's less than that, means that they've really stuffed up, they haven't played the game. With the hourly rate, you might say to yourself, I only want to pay $15 an hour for a PHP programmer. You can get writers much cheaper, but I'll just use that. I only want to pay $15 an hour. But what you need to do is you need to select $20 an hour, because what happens is Otis puts their 10% fee on top. And the other thing that you'll find is that Ravish, for example, will have a rate of $20 an hour, but if we go into his actual profile, he'll be accepting $13 an hour. So by using the filter to sort of say, collect everyone from under $20 an hour, even though I don't want to pay $20 an hour, you'll actually pick up a guy who's actually accepting $11 an hour. So always just sort of be a bit generous with your filter on that side of it. There's a couple of really important filters hidden down here. I don't worry about the hours bill, but the last activity is within 2 weeks. So huge amount of ODS are just dead profiles. So I only ever go for someone who's been active within the last 2 weeks, because it means that they're within that system, they're invested in that system, and they'll probably play nicely by that system. The English level is self-assessed, so don't even worry about that. I tend to avoid agencies. And the tests, I'll show you what tests are. So there's a thing down here which is really tempting. Oh, sorry, I'm going really fast with this, but you're welcome to ask me questions afterwards. There's a test, and it's really tempting to say, oh, I'll find someone who's got a PHP 5 test who's got like in the 10 percentile, the top 10 percentile. I'll go and find that guy who's amazing at PHP. I'll show you why. A lot of the stuff in ODS is fake data. So this is a guy here. I could click through his count for you, but see, he's got HTML4 and he's in the top 10%. And it took him 3 minutes to complete the HTML4 test and 3 minutes to complete the PHP 5 test. And that's because the results are all available on Google. You can just search. Okay? So you just go and grab those results. And they also get together in teams. So I found as well some of the agencies, they'll figure out who's really good at the CSS exam. And then they all go and do that guy goes and does the CSS exam for all his team, his agency. Okay, and then the next guy goes and does the HTML one. So they have the system, which is totally fine. Like I don't mind that at all. But I've just learned over the years that what you see in ODS, most profiles are usually fake. The other thing that you'll see, I'll show you one. I'll show you one of these guys. I'll just point out the main parts of this profile, just if you want to sort of see behind the scenes, so, kind of what I look at. So what I look at when I go through here is see this title here, just got English translator, subtitle, English copywriter. People keyword stuff those. So a lot of VAs will just go, yeah, social media, Facebook, Twitter, I'm all over that. They know nothing about it. They touched it once. They have their own Facebook account and they think that they're a genius at it. So they stuff that section with keywords. And it's also these tags down here. So tags are one of the main ways of finding people who have got particular skill sets. So if you want someone who does PSC to HTML, you type in PSC-2-HTML and it brings up all people with that particular tag. But again, they just go nuts. I mean, this girl hasn't, but they go nuts and choose everything. This overview section here, I always look really closely at that because it tells me their level of English, but it also tells me their spun level of English. So what I'll often do is I'll go and get someone else to write that for them. And I've also seen applications with exactly the same profile, the word changed here and there. So again, they'll group together and it's not a genuine reflection of what they can do. Work history, again, I ignore the 5-star thing because there's kind of this retribution system going on. A job in progress, I leave jobs open, not because I'm still working with that person, but because I've had a dispute with that person. I'm not going to close it, because if my 5-star rating goes down, I get less exposure in search results for jobs that I want. So I'll leave jobs in progress open for years, absolutely years, until I think, oh my God, maybe that just like disappeared off ODS, and then I might close it down. But jobs in progress is an indicator either that they've taken on too many jobs and you're not going to get a look in until 2 weeks' time. I'll tell you, maybe I can do it this week, and then you won't hear from them in 3 weeks. the thing to look at is the amount of money that they've earned from those jobs and whether it was a repeat from a different person. And I'll just show you, oh no, I'll show you that instead. Tests, what do we think of tests? All right. Employment history, what do we think of employment history? All right. Just make it up. Most make it up. I used to go and check the degrees. I used to go and actually sort of see, does that degree actually exist? And most of the time they didn't. There's a big box here missing, and I've written to Otis about it because they really aggravated me about it. There used to be a box on the side that said recent job applications, and I don't know if they'll bring it back, but it was gone. It was a little closed hidden field, and you'd open it up, and it showed the true behaviour of that person. So what I found was that a WordPress expert going for data entry jobs meant that they weren't a WordPress expert. So their true behaviour reveals more about what they can actually do than their job descriptions, than their, the work that they've had, all of that sort of stuff. So unfortunately, literally in the last week, that one's disappeared. Sorry? Absolutely, actually speak loud in words. I'll tell you more about that in a sec. So the search results, so the search filters, you know how I was just using all these search, search filters, when you start to pick, I just want this person for 2 weeks and I want them to be from Eastern Europe, or I want them to be this amount of money, you'll see the string up the top here starts to get really confused. And so what I find is that don't rely on this actually being accurate. What you've chosen, it's a completely random whether it'll actually be reflected on the right-hand side. So you just need to check it and say, that person was last active 1 day ago. Oh, okay, that click that I did actually got through the filter, and it's now giving me the search result correctly. So I'm just saying, my point is, you would expect that when you click the buttons on the left-hand side, it's reflected on the right. I'm just saying it doesn't happen that way. You've just got to double check that what you've actually selected actually works, because they, for whatever reason, don't think that that's working in terms of fits. So I've been to that. Otis, I've just imposed a minimum hourly rate of, I think it's $2.20 an hour, which doesn't suit everyone, particularly for the type of jobs that you want. So if you just literally do some data entry collection work, you can pay 50 cents an hour just to go and get, really simple stuff. And, it's cheaper on Mechanical Turk to get that sort of stuff done. So I obviously know why they've upped it to $2.20 an hour, because they take 10% of whatever you spend on Otis. So they've started to run tests on particular accounts to basically make you pay more, so. Right. This is onlinejobs.ph, and it's just it's not new, but it's something I found just recently. And what I do is I go and find people in onlinejobs.ph, and then I bring them across to Otis. So as I said, the tools in Otis, like the work diary and being able to just pay very quickly, are really convenient, because then you don't get shut down by ANZ thinking that you're paying the Russians, whatever, which happens. It really does happen. It's just it's just annoying because you've got to go up to pay. So what I do now is I go through these other job boards, and these people don't necessarily exist in these other job boards, but what you can do is this girl here, when you pay $40 a month, you get access to her profile. So you just pay that $40, you get access to, I put a job in there, to give you an idea, I put a job on Otis, and so I've got a reasonably good account. You'd think that I'd have some favour with them. I've got a good account, and I put a job in for a content writer, and I think I've got like 5 applications. And I put a job in here, and I've got 80 applications. And so having more people to work with, having more people to work with to process through to see if they're any good is very helpful. The trick with this one though is they have a desired salary. And what happens with this is she's asking 12,000 pesos a month, which is about 267 US. When you take her across to Otis, the same skill will be charging around $7 to $8 an hour in Otis. Whereas here in online jobs, she's charging $3.11 per hour, which means she's around $68 per week. She looks awesome, and this is the other thing is that again, it's what their actual behaviour is, not what they say they can do. So she says she's got experience in SEO, like, you know, yes, like something anyway. But when you read her text, she's actually very well written. Like, it's really well written, and she's got little terms of phrases that are really natural and interesting. A poor copywriter will write like a robot. And then what you do then is you go and right-click on her photo and search in Google, and you will find her profile on other outsourcing platforms. So they're all usually, they'll exist on a couple of different platforms, and then you can go and find their hourly rates on the other platforms to see if, you know, this one they're advertising a lower rate or whatever it might be. The other thing you can do is you can copy those search phrases, and again, they'll copy-paste those into different platforms, or you can see whether it's an agency or if it's really just an individual. She's a really good writer. If you go to onlinejobs.ph, it's a race. If you go to onlinejobs.ph and you click on the content article writing one, I think she's about the second one down. I'd definitely hire her. Like, I'd give her a go. I'll give her a trial, and I'll talk to you a bit about that in a sec. So that's how I'm now. Odesk search is broken for me. So it's a funny thing. I've been using it for years, but it's broken. I can't use it anymore. I find it too frustrating, and I'm really aggravated by it. And so now I'm starting to switch out to other platforms, but I'm still bringing them back.
Why would you use online jobs?
Because it's got a fresh resource of candidates who aren't on Odesk. Odesk is not the only job.
So why would you hire her?
Why would I hire her?
On this platform?
Okay, because I don't have, because if I hired her on this platform here, I would have to go and set up a work diet. I would have to go and buy a $40 a month software system to track her work. I'd also then have to use their online payment system. It's just kind of a bit flaky, or I'd have to do Western Union payments to her. I'd also have to, or I'd find out she's got a PayPal account, and then she's not part of my system. So the 10, 15 guys that work for me and girls that work for me, they're all on the same process. And this is what Ian was talking about earlier. They are on the same exact process, and it just works like a machine. So you can sort of say, oh, well, I might say $40, like with her, let's say you just paid her $300 or $400 a month. Odesk takes $40. So for an extra $40, you're getting this convenience of having everyone using the same system. I don't have time. All right?
Keep going.
Okay, right. Okay, I'm just going to time. Okay. So I was saying to you before, the Odesk search is broken. So what I do is I follow really strong accounts. So there's a reverse search that you can do on Odesk. Instead of searching for a freelancer, go search for a job. So this one, just for an example, is PSC to HTML. I want to find a cut-up guy. And so what I'll do is I'll go and search for jobs, and I'll filter it by most dollars paid. So I'm finding all the really strong account holders like me who've been using the system and who know how to use people. Not use people, how to find people and then grab them into your business. So this is, we're a small web design company, but they had like a $50,000 account. So I'll just get onto it. They hired Roman. And I'll just show you how it shows up. So this is a web development agency's account. And this guy has done 541 hours, this guy's done 230, this guy's done 100, this guy's done 1,500. I would hire that guy in a shop for PHP work because it means he hasn't aggravated that business owner. He's worked 1,500 hours and he's, obviously had their disputes, but he's not aggravated him to the point where he's sacked him. And so, again, it's when you find someone who keeps getting repeat work. So this guy, Ken, you can see he's shown up Ken. He's doing fixed price jobs. He's doing a PHP task for $11, a PHP task for $16. A quick PHP task for $16 means he's making $16 an hour, which is cheap, really cheap. If a PHP guy's $16 an hour, that's like really, if he's good PHP, that's really cheap. So the fact that someone keeps giving Ken D, and that's a hyperlink, you can just click on that and go to Ken's profile and say, hey Ken, how about it? And that's a good PHP guy because he hasn't aggravated that person. That person just keeps giving him that work. Oh, this is a good one. How much will it cost? My brother went through this exercise about a week ago, and he said he wanted to build a WordPress site, and he said, "Oh, how much will it cost?" And the quote came back, it was $500, and he said, "Oh, you know, Katrina, can you have a look at this guy's account? You know, pick his 3 contractors, tell me which one I should use." And I said, "Well, they charge $800 to $1,200 for a WordPress job." And then he said, "No, he's quoting me $500." And I was like, "Yeah, but it's history. They're all $1,200. They're all $800. You can look at the history of the work. This guy here, I found him last night, Ravish, will get you a backlink from Wikipedia for $120. So that's, I'm onto that one. I think that'd be a really good one. It's cheap. That's cheap for a Wikipedia page. So a link from Wikipedia is a very good thing. We're all startups, so we don't deserve one. But you can see here $220, $160. 240, 88, 130, 125. So the going rate for a link from Wikipedia or a Wikipedia page is between $100 and $200. So it's very, very clear, and those blue things are all hyperlinks. So you, again, if you think, oh, I need a Wikipedia page, you go and look at all of these jobs and read what the job descriptions were, copy paste their stuff, and you go and use the guy that they used. That's the fastest way to get that done. Okay. You might be thinking to yourself, I'm going to build a website. Let's just say we're all going to build a WordPress website, or we're going to build a software or something like that. You've got to break it down into small tasks, into small blocks, because when you first get a developer, what I do is I go and find, I pull them in with, you know, I'm going to give you a full-time job, and then I say I'm going to run a trial. And this is, I can't recommend this more. Every single person I hire, I say, you've got a 4-hour trial. I'll pay you for 4 hours. The reason why I pay them is so I can see their work diary. I run a trial for 4 hours and then I close their contract without, you know, usually without fail. And what happens is that it gives me a get out of jail, it gives me that out clause so that I can assess their work or think about their work. When you make promises on Odesk, the other side of the scale is they're looking for work. You know how you feel when you really want that job and you walk in and you go, please give me that job. Those guys are all thinking that. They really want this job, okay? And you must be fair with them. And I hate it when people say, well, this is going to change your life, and if I make money, I'll share it with you, and I'll give you 100 hours, and I'll, 100 hours a week, and I'll pay you $100 an hour. Never promise anything, because you're toying with someone just like you would be going in for a job yourself. Give them one thing that they can do, that they can accomplish, because what you'll learn from them is whether they're timely. And so what I do is I give the same task to 3 people. So if I've got a, I don't know, let's say I'm building a WordPress site or something, I give the same thing. I go and just, on our hosting account, I say, knock yourselves out, go and set up that same thing. You've got 2 hours to do it, go and set up the same thing on my server, and you've got 2 hours to do it, and off they go. One person doesn't do it, they just flake off and go and do whatever. The second person does it, and it just looks horrible. And the third person goes out of their way to do a better job. And so I'm not spending money on a hiring, like on a recruiter. All I'm doing is I'm spending just that little bit of cash up front to hire 2 extra people who I don't need to find the one that I do need. So you've got to kiss a lot of frogs to go and find that one person. You've got to pay for it as well. But if you give them a small task, one small trial job, just one tiny thing, break it down to as small as you can, you'll find out, you'll learn a lot from them. And often it's the communication back and forth. And again, it's so hard to find that out from the job profiles. Okay. We're just talking about this at lunch. We're just talking about this at lunch. And she was sort of saying she wants to build this software. She's got this idea, great idea. How do I do it? How do I do it? And I said, go and buy someone's time for an hour. So there's a guy on Odesk who will be $60 an hour, and you think, oh my gosh, I'm never going to hire him full time. But you can go and buy 1 hour, and you can ask him as many questions as you want. You can Skype him, you can just, and you'll learn. If you go and buy 3 people's time for 1 hour, they'll write the job description for you. They'll do the hiring for you. So you can use Odesk in these small increments. It's not just using the whole system. How much time? Right? What's time, please?
10 minutes.
Okay. Simple job description for a job listing, followed by detailed instructions. So this is another trick that I do. These are a bit hard to see, but you can see that's very short. She wants a logo on a website that suits my needs. I need a few different choices. I will not buy something that I don't like. And I don't like pushing people. I'm a fair person looking to buy a logo and a website. I couldn't touch her with a barge pole. Like she hasn't got a clue what she wants. And then the one underneath goes into way too much detail, and it's all a big block, so no one's ever going to read it. It's going to be very hard for either of those two people to attract someone. So this is a very typical job description that we would write up. Data entry for 80 hours. We're looking for someone who's organised and a quick learner to find data on the web, match it against criteria, transfer to a spreadsheet, training provided. You need to be able to work 6 to 8 hours per day. Should have a good standard of written English, lower rates preferred. It actually doesn't say anything. It doesn't say anything about what we're doing. And it's amazing what people do put on the web, on Odesk, about what they're actually building. They'll put their business names, they'll put their URLs, they'll upload whole specs of software specs onto Odesk, which is great if you like that sort of thing. But this is just dangling the bait in the water, and that's all it is. It has no detail to it. But then that's the real brief. So that's one of the briefs that I'll write, and you can see it's got a huge amount of detail in it. But I use scripts. So I copy paste. I'll get 80 applicants, and all I do is I send that. I just change hi name. You can see I've got a bracket up the top. I just go hi name, and I send the same one out to 80 people. And I see what responses I get back, so I'm fishing. By this time, I'm trawling with a net. The other thing that I do is when I respond to people, I haven't got it on this one, but down here I put 3 stars if I like them, 2 stars if they're all right, 1 star if I'm desperate. And that looks like a signature file, but it's actually my way, because Odesk again doesn't have any way of me to record the quality of the people. It's either, yeah, you like them or no, you don't. There's no subtlety in the Odesk management systems. So what I do is I just use a little 3-star, 2-star, and it just reminds me, because you're talking to 60 people at a time, it reminds me that when that person sort of scrolls back up through my view again, I can go, 3-star, oh, I really like this guy. And, oh, okay, I'll try and get him on the hook. So that one is just bait in the water. It doesn't mean anything. It's usually very, very generic. What I do is I then go and use those systems at the very beginning. Sorry, I'm so fast with this, but I use all the systems in the very beginning to go and actually find people and invite them into my account. And then I show them my mini business and I give them a very comprehensive brief. And people love being given lists. So I put everything to a list. Everyone loves lists. So I make it really easy to read and I use paragraphs and lists. I then cut and paste. I have a notepad on the side and I have 3 scripts. I have that very first script, which is just a bait. I have the second one, which says this is what I'm actually trying to do, and I get them engaged in a conversation. And I have a third script, which says this is the trial, these are the conditions of the trial, and this is how I'm going to employ you. Those 3 things, I just write them out in the very beginning, and I'll do this. And I just cut and paste, and it allows me to process a lot of people very, very quickly. I was asked the question to reveal their English skills and their ability to think, because that's the one thing that I found the most challenging hiring online for years is if I can't communicate with them, because it's always virtual, then jobs go off track. I offer a paid trial. That allows me to see their work diary, and it also allows me to cut the job short really fast without hurting anyone's feelings. And when you do a paid trial and you cut it off, they give you 5 stars. I just give them 5 stars. I don't put a comment, and then I dump them. But if you keep people on, and you say, yeah, I'm going to give you, I might give you this job. I'm just talking to this other person. Their feelings get hurt, so it's better to just, and that's why a 4-hour paid trial or 2-hour paid trial. They know it's coming. You end the contract, and then if you decide to take them on, you just create a new contract. It's dead easy. I hire for one skill set only. I'll talk about that another time. I use screencasts a lot. So that's actually how I got into fish so I sent Pete a screencast. I put my little face up on the screen and I put a I just record my computer and I just said, oh, this is what I'm working on, and I wasn't doing anything. I was just trying to make it up so I could get in here. And he was like, wow, screencast's great. And I was like, oh, you just totally didn't notice any of the stuff I'm working on. That's great. You just noticed the screencast. So I got in. Yeah, anyway. And so screencasts are much faster. I think I've got a few converts in the room screencasts now. But screencasts are much faster and easier ways to communicate than text. When you write text, you go, oh, is that sentence mean what I think it means? Whereas with a video, you can just record your screen and you can say, this is what I want done. Screener and Screen-O-Matic, screen-o-matic, matic.com, free. The other thing I do is, because I got sick of repeating myself, and this is Ian's specialty as well, is this is just a knowledge base. I set up a Google site and I just wrote, this is how I want you to record your time. I want a memo, I want an activity code, I want you to tell me what you've worked on. I'll only pay you on this basis, all this kind of stuff. And so what I've ended up doing is I've ended up creating a knowledge base, and then what I've actually done with that knowledge base is I've turned it into a platform, smallrevolution.com, that's my plug. All of that, my whole knowledge base for how I build my e-commerce stores is over at smallrevolution.com, so I just made it look pretty. It's like a paywall on it. For task management, this is like a whole other topic. Smartsheet is brilliant. It's a spreadsheet that's really clever. It allows you to do filters and it allows you to do links, and it's got actions inside it. So it's kind of like Excel on steroids, but much easier to use than Excel. So if you like spreadsheets to organise your work, and that's a big tip, don't use email just to organise your projects with your freelancers. Use a system, because again, when you use a system and a process, it means that that information remains with the business. It doesn't remain in your email, it remains with the business. Smartsheet's an Excel type thing. Trello is like cards that you can just kind of go, it's like a yellow post-it notes that you can move around. You can say, oh, this one's really high priority, or this one's done, I'll put it over here so you can drag things around. Basecamp, I like Basecamp because it's just a communications platform. So in our line of work, we've got a lot of communications going back and forth in our teams. And Smartsheet, whenever I try to get people onto that, I have to provide them with a training document. Trello, I have to provide them with a little bit of training, and then they usually drag something into the wrong spot and I lose it. Basecamp, idiot-proof. So even though it's not as like Web 4.0 and it's so cool and it doesn't have the whistles and bells and it's really boring, I have never once had a freelancer, and the whole point is you've got to use tools that you don't have to think about. And so even though it's not as efficient as Trello for managing things, Basecamp is absolutely idiot-proof. So again, you can try that one. Yeah.
I'm now using Asana.
Asana's good too, but it's very complex. Well, it is, but it's a step up from Basecamp. It's really good, but I don't know, if you're only getting into outsourcing for the first time or project management, I don't know, maybe you're like used to managing 20 teams. Asana is very good. asana.com. Top tips. First one, lower your expectations. They can't solve everything for you. They're $2 an hour. They're $14 an hour. They're not necessarily entrepreneurial people. They're not trying to change the world like Brian. They're not trying to build massive businesses. They're not doing massive investments. They're just looking for a job. Okay, they just want a job. They just want to be told what to do. They just want to do it. So lower your expectations. And I'm not being unkind. I'm just saying it's not a silver bullet. Odesk is really confusing, so a lot of people try to do outsourcing and then they give up because it's stuff up. It is confusing. Try again. I hunt around for what I want. I don't just sort of it doesn't all just magically come to me. You can't just use the filter in Odesk and find the best people. You actually have to go looking for them in other people's accounts. Believe the evidence, not the promises. Break it down into very small tasks and use trials, paid trials, and detailed written instructions and screencasts. That's it.
Excellent.
Any questions? Questions? Yes.
Have you noticed over the time that you've been using your outsourcing products, there has been some decline
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, it's like simple, like 15 years ago. So usually, we used to hire for $200 a month, and then we get in commission basis on the websites. We just kind of keep in touch. He's like $5,000 a month now. My early VAs, who are all $2 an hour, are now $8 an hour. And so they come back to me and they say, "No, can I work for you again?" I go, "You priced yourself out of my, what I want to pay." So there are a lot of companies out there who will pay a lot more. So what I do is I go and find the people who are at the bottom, and I provide them with training and processes, and that's how I win over people who will pay more for a freelancer who's not higher quality, absolutely not better quality, but they think they are. They manage one Facebook campaign, it makes them a guru. So they go, "I'm a Facebook guru because my client had success." So the quality is absolutely declining because people are jumping in, and you pay far more than you ought to, is what I found.
You talked a lot about coaching people with lots of hours. What about newbies who might be fresh and you can train on?
Yeah, I do. I go find newbies, but that's because I suppose I have a pretty good handle on. I've hired like 100 people, so I've got a pretty good handle if someone can do the work or not. So I will go and find newbies, and that's what I do. I go and find those people who have no record in ODS, who've just been active in the last 2 weeks, and then I'll go and find them like this program. I'll go and find them on GitHub. I'll go and search for their name. So I always search their name. I look at their Twitter accounts and all their blog posts, and people make tracks. You can just click on their photo, and so then you can go and find them on other platforms. But if you're just starting out in ODS or outsourcing, I reckon you just don't coach up people.
How do you deal with the churn? Like, if you bring someone on, you have to show them everything, and I know you're talking about.
Yeah, it doesn't bother me anymore. Doesn't bother me.
How do you deal?
Just processes. So that knowledge base that I showed you before, that's like it's like 130 pages, and it's taken me a while to literally just sit down and write it. And like insert, like you write it, it'll be 20 sets. And then it will cull down to 10 after a while, and you intersperse screencasts in it. And so now I churn people very fast. Like if they don't want to work with me, or I don't know, they change. They go and get a job, or it doesn't suit them, or their wife doesn't like them doing it, or whatever it might be. It doesn't bother me. Like,
Just get them to read this.
yeah, but I literally say, there's this, you can't see it. That's a new start here section, and it says like this is actually an old screenshot. It's quite different now, but it's some tasks and to-dos, time, how to do file storage, how to find new passwords, which jobs we're working on, how to get access to everything, and it's 10 pages and they read it and I don't have to repeat myself.
How long did it take you to come up with that?
You just sit down, like, that's so tempting to want to ask that, but you just sit down and you write it. And it happens over a long period of time and it evolves and it gets better. So
You have to update it all the time.
you write the first page. Yeah, and then after a while you get the team to update it. So that's the other thing is now my team updates that. So they just rewrite it. They go, "Katrina, that didn't work." I go, "Okay, rewrite it."
So do you,
You go,
do you trust your outsourcers to find other outsourcers for you? And, okay. And do you ever speak to anyone on Skype voice?
yes, all the time. I make all of them come onto voice Skype, and they're terrified. "Oh, I'm going to talk to your boss and Miss Katrina," and you get all sort of like very, very reticent to talk. And I think that when things go really, really wrong, you need to be able to have a Skype conversation. So if they're not even willing to get the job to have a Skype conversation, there's plenty of people who are.
Do you have like a manager who manages all these people as a manager, or what's the hierarchy?
Sort of. I use a lot of processes. So my business is what I do is I build e-commerce stores on the same platform with the same model. So I build the same thing. There's only a few instances where I actually have to touch to give direction to design or marketing or those things that I said you can't outsource. They're the only things that I do. Whereas the rest of it just kind of is the processes is a cascading process. So it just they do. They just kind of get on with it. They've just got tasks that they have to do. Oh yeah, they ask me questions. I haven't spoken to Michelle for 3 weeks, and she works for me full time, and she knows exactly what she's got to do. And that's the point. You can't scale if if you have to have everyone talking to you, you can't scale, and there's something wrong with the way you've structured that business. If they don't know what they have to do, like, oh, they give me reports, they'll send me a weekly report, and say, this is what I've done. And I just go, oh, that one took a bit too long. Why did that one take so long? Or I'll say, you just find those little levers in the business. But most of the room here, like a lot of businesses here want scale. And so this is like all stuff with processes and all of this, like it probably looks quite manual too, but I do a lot of repeat, a lot of scale kind of stuff, so you have to do it. But putting a manager in place, and that's the other thing, the two first slides, they either have to save you money or make you money. Very important in these early stages to either save you money or make, if they don't contribute to one of those things, then you don't have a business to be able to afford them. Like you can't have them just like cleaning your socks if it's not making you money. Or so. A couple last questions, I think Carlos can say.
You mentioned earlier on that graphic design was one that was hard to do on Otis. Is that on Otis in particular, or is it a problem with the graphs that you tried like design graphic?
The joke is I married a graphic designer. I hired a graphic designer and then I married him, so I've never really had that problem. Graphic designer is available on the Dribble network, so DRIBBLE.net. What they do is they're very noisy people and they don't put all their profiles up. So you go and find them on these Dribble networks, beautiful, beautiful work, and they often cost a lot less than you think, but they don't like going onto those platforms because it becomes a race to the bottom. So I bring them into the ODS platform. So anyone I work with, I get them to set up a profile. And like they don't have to be active and go for jobs, but I use that platform to manage everyone in the same way because I hook it up with all our, like with Xero, with all our accounting software, so I've got cost centers. Last question?
How transparent are you to your clients with regards to the outsourcing? Is that something they are completely aware of?
Sorry, say that again.
How transparent are you to your clients with regards to the outsourcing?
Oh yeah, all my clients know. Well, in the early days, 15 years ago, I never told them, so I just thought it was very strange. But I think it's pretty well accepted now. I obviously don't tell them my margins, because the margins are pretty healthy, but that business is not. Yeah, like I tell them who they are, I'll tell them who they are. Because the thing is they don't have access, they don't have the same sort of access that I do to keep those people going.
Right, thanks.
Alright, we're just going to have a really quick 1 to 2 minute break. Usually we do beers around this time on Friday afternoon, so if you want to go and grab a beer and help yourself. And then we'll kick off in 2 minutes. So yeah, very quick